I'd say three things that I've been pushing very hard. One is ASEAN minus. Let's not try and get every country to agree to everything, because then nothing moves. So if 6 countries agree to do something, let's push that ahead first. Because countries will have different opinions on when they should do things and when they shouldn't. But when the countries who see the benefits of doing it together, they'll join in. So I've saying let's forget about the consensus. I've been pushing this ASEAN visa. I know there are 2 countries who don't want to do it. Let's move ahead without them for the moment, and when they're ready to do it, then do it. That's one. 2 is, for a company like ours and many companies in ASEAN and even Americans or English or Chinese, we need a stronger ASEAN secretariat, a secretariat that can make decisions, that can, rather than going to 10 different governments, we go to one place to put policy in place and give ideas, and then they can go over to the various governments to get it approved. But right now, the ASEAN Secretariat operates on a very small budget. It's understaffed, it's under-resourced, and you're missing out huge opportunities. It's done, again, on a consensus basis. Everyone pays the same amount to the budget, so to comparing Singapore versus Laos, it makes no sense at all. The budgets have to be done in GDP, it has to be resourced properly, the right technocrats in there to get policy done. We've started something called the ASEAN Business Club, where we've created lots of policy papers, and again, we go around talking to them. So that's the second. And the third is, we need ASEAN institutions. In Europe, you have a Joint Aviation Authority, which has one set of standards for pilots, engineers, operating aircraft in Europe, one air traffic control system. It doesn't lose its sovereignty. There's still the CAA in England, there's still the German Aviation Authority, but there's one over on top which allows common standards and higher standards. So I think, in banking industry, in aviation, in food industry, many countries have different halal rules, for instance. How inefficient is that? So I think ASEAN needs to sit down and get some ASEAN institutions and ASEAN standards. If you get those 3 things in place, you're halfway there, more than halfway. The fourth one is I've just added it in, is really, what does ASEAN mean to the people of ASEAN? Not very much. Something needs to be done on the branding side.
It's quite low awareness.
Yes, correct. So, but I mean, if you do the first 3, it'll benefit the people and branding will grow. So I haven't made it a key addition. No point branding ASEAN everywhere, but it means nothing to the people of ASEAN. Yeah, number 1, do it. The thought, and I think many people out there would be, oh no, let's go to China, let's go to India, but ASEAN is a fabulous market. 600 million, 700 million people, whatever the right number is right now, and very few ASEAN brands. And if you want to establish your brand in China, you've got thousands of other people to compete with, or India. But in ASEAN, you can count on your hand how many ASEAN brands there are. There's fabulous products in Thailand that should be household names around ASEAN. There are fabulous products in Indonesia that should be household names. So I do it. It's not difficult. I'm in probably the hardest industry to build an ASEAN business, because aviation is full of politics, full of regulations, full of nationalism, full of national carriers. But we've done it. So without sounding like a Nike commercial, just gonna do it.
By having various bases and hubs and operations in Southeast Asia, we're able to do that. We're able to capture bigger markets in a more effective way. And that's the beauty of ASEAN, which we feel that we can benefit even further.